Thank you, Angela. That was really beautiful and inspiring. We're now going to hear some of Hopkins' poems read by Rita Simmonds and John Pilsner. And we have 3 categories of poems. I'm going to try to say as little as possible so you can truly hear the poetry. We have some images that we were inspired to find that match the themes of the poems. The first group of poems are categorized as nature poems. Pied Beauty. In Pied Beauty, a Curdle sonnet, the poet offers God a song of praise for a variety of created things. So things that are pied or dappled are blemished, but yet we find beauty in that too. In the Windhover, we hear about the flight of a kestrel, a genus of a falcon that was definitely something very familiar to those in England. And the poet marvels at the bird's ability to hover in a headwind and then to dive suddenly and steeply. So Hopkins really kind of marks out, he was a bird watcher, and he really marks out the path of the poet. So now we'll hear these 2 poems read by Rita and then by John. Here we have some images of dappled things.
Pied Beauty. Glory be to God for dappled things, for skies of couple color as a brinded cow, for rose moles all in stipple upon trout that swim, fresh fire-cold chestnut falls, finches' wings, landscape plotted and pieced, fold, fallow, and plow, and all trades their gear and tackle and trim. All things counter, original, spare, strange. Whatever is fickle, freckled, who knows how, with swift, slow, sweet, sour, a dazzle dim, he fathers forth, whose beauty is past change. Praise him.
I caught this morning's minion, kingdom of daylight's dolphin, dappled dawn drawn falcon, in his riding of the rolling level, underneath him steady air, and striding high there. How he rung upon the rein of a wimpling wing in his ecstasy. Then off forth on swing, as a skate's heel sweeps smooth on a bow bend, the hurl and gliding rebuffed the big wind. My heart in hiding stirred for a bird, the achieve of, the mastery of the thing. Brute beauty and valor and act, oh, air, pride, plume, here buckle, and the fire that breaks from thee then, a billion times told, lovelier, more dangerous, oh, my chevalier. No wonder of it. Sheer plod makes plough down Sicilian shine, and blue bleak embers, ah, my dear, fall, gall themselves, and gash gold vermilion.
Our second group of poems we've categorized under the term humanity. And here we have 2 poems, the first entitled The Soldier, and the second, No Worse There Is None. In The Soldier, we have a sonnet in standard Alexandrian meter, and the poet questions the popular tendency to regard as brave and heroic all those who wear the uniform. But the true virtues of a soldier are found in the higher standard of Christ's self-sacrifice. In No Worse There Is None, this is one of the sonnets of desolation that he wrote in his last years. The poet wrestles with the depth and power and duration of an unknown grief and the human person's capacity to suffer beyond all imagining.
Yes, why do we all, seeing of a soldier, bless him, bless our redcoats, our tars, both these being the greater tar, but frail clay, nay, but foul clay. Here it is, the heart. Since proud it calls the calling manly, gives a guess that, hopes that, makes believe the men must be no less. It fancies, feigns, deems, dears the artist after his art, and fain will find as sterling all as all is smart, and scarlet where the spirit of war there express. Mark Christ our King, he knows war, served this soldiering through. He of all can reeve a rope best. There he bides in bliss now, and seeing somewhere some man do all that man can do, for love he leans forth, needs his neck must fall on, kiss, and cry, O Christ done deed, so God made flesh does too. Were I come o'er again, Christ, Christ, it would be this.
No worst, there is none, pitched past pitch of grief. More pangs will, schooled at 4 pangs, wilder ring. Comforter, where is your comforting? Mary, mother of us, where is your relief? My cries heave, herds long, huddle in amain, a chief woe, world sorrow, on an age-old anvil wince and sing, then lull, then leave off. Fury had shrieked, no lingering, let me be fell, force I must be brief. Oh, the mind has mountains, cliffs of fall, frightful, sheer, no man fathomed. May who ne'er hold them cheap, may who ne'er hung there, nor does long our small durance deal with that steep or deep. Here creep, wretch, under a comfort serves a whirlwind. All life, death does end, and each day dies with sleep.
Our third group of poems we categorized as the Christological, and here we have that nature is a Heraclitean fire and the comfort of the resurrection. Second poem, As Kingfishers Catch Fire, and third poem, The Blessed Virgin Compared to the Air We Breathe. First, that nature is a Heraclitean fire. As a scholar and teacher of classical Greek, Hopkins knew the unconventional thesis of the very melancholic philosopher Heraclitus, who stated that the first principle of the universe is not a spiritual force or generative element, but fire. Not that the fire which illumines the stars and represents the divine, but fire as a perpetual force of strife and change. Though Hopkins recognizes this, he shifts in the poem, and he shifts to a more positive perspective, ending with an anticipation of Christ's resurrection. And as kingfishers catch fire, we see the image of fire again. This sonnet very much reflects Ignatian spirituality, and the poet celebrates creatures both inanimate and animate, tracing the chain of being to the highest form of creation, humanity, which realizes the fullness of its identity in action. As Hopkins says, what I do is me. In the last poem, we have a very long poem, The Blessed Virgin Compared to the Air We Breathe, which was written during the month of May at Stonyhurst College. Hopkins was actually asked to write something in honor of Mary during her month of May. He posted this poem written in 3-foot couplets in a form he considered a compromise with popular taste. Theologically, the work reflects the writings of St. Louis de Montfort, who wrote, quote, "When will souls breathe Mary as the body breathes air?"
As kingfishers catch fire, dragonflies draw flame, as tumbled over rim in roundy wells stones ring, like each tucked string tells, each hung bell's bow swung finds tongue to fling out broad its name. Each mortal thing does one thing and the same, deals out that being indoors each one dwells. Selves goes itself. Myself it speaks and spells, crying, what I do is me, for that I came. I say more. The just man justices, keeps grace, that keeps all his goings graces. In God's eye acts what in God's eye he is, Christ. For Christ plays in 10,000 places, lovely in limbs, and lovely in eyes, not his, to the Father, through the features of men's faces.
That nature is a Heraclitean fire, of the comfort of the resurrection. Cloud puffball, torn tops, tossed pillows, flaunt forth, then Chevy on an air-built thoroughfare. Heaven roisterers, in gay gangs they throng, they glitter in marches. Down rough cast, down dazzling whitewash, wherever an elm arches. Shive lights and shadow tackle in long lashes, lace, lance, and pear. Delightfully the bright wind boisterous, ropes, wrestles, beats earth bare of yester tempest's creases. In pool and rut peel parches, squandering ooze to squeezed dough, crust, dust. Stanches, starches, squadron masks, and man marks tread mire toil there, foot fretted in it. Million fueled, nature's bonfire burns on. But quench her bonniest, dearest to her clearest selved spark. Man, how fast his fire dint, his mark on mind is gone. Both are in an unfathomable. All is in an enormous dark ground. O pity and indignation! Man's shape that shone sheer off dies several, a star. Death blots black out. Nor mark is any of him at all so stark, but vastness blurs and time beats level. Enough. The resurrection, a heart's clarion. Away grief's gasping, joyless days, dejection. Across my foundering deck shone a beacon, an eternal beam. Flesh fade and mortal trash fall to the residuary worm. World's wildfire, leave but ash. In a flash, at a trumpet crash, I am all at once what Christ is, since he was what I am. And this jack, joke, poor potsherd, patch, match with immortal diamond is immortal diamond. The Blessed Virgin compared to the air we breathe. Wild air, world-mothering air, nestling me everywhere, that each eyelash or hair girdles, goes home betwixt the fleeciest, frailest, flickst snowflake, that's fairly mixed with riddles and is rife in every least thing's life. This needful, never spent, and nursing element, my more than meat and drink, my meal at every wink, this air which by life's law my lung must draw, and now but to breathe its praise, minds me in many ways of her who not only gave to God's infinity, dwindled to infancy, welcome in womb and breast, birth, milk, and all the rest, but mothers each new grace that does now reach our race. Mary, immaculate, merely a woman, yet whose presence power is great as no goddess's was deemed, dreamed, who this one work has to do. Let all God's glory through, God's glory which would go through her and from her flow off, no way but so.
I say that we are wound with mercy round and round, as if with air. The same is Mary, more by name. She wild web, wondrous robe, mantles the guilty globe. Since God has let dispense her prayers, his providence, nay, more than almoner, the sweet alm's self is her. And men are meant to share her life as life does air. If I have understood, she holds high motherhood towards all our ghostly good, and plays in grace her part about man's beating heart, laying like air's fine flood the death dance in his blood. Yet no part but will be Christ our Savior still. Of her flesh he took flesh, he does take fresh and fresh. Though much the mystery how, not flesh but spirit now, and makes, oh marvelous, new Nazareths in us, where she shall yet conceive him, morning, noon, and eve, new Bethlehems, and he born there, evening, noon, and morn, Bethlehem or Nazareth, men here may draw like breath, more Christ and baffle death, who born so comes to be new self and nobler me in each one, and each one more makes when all is done, both God's and Mary's Son.
Again, look overhead, how air is azured. Oh, how may do but stand where you can lift your hand skywards. Rich, rich it laps round the 4 finger gaps. Yet such a sapphire shot, charged steep with sky, will not stain light. Yea, mark you this, it does no prejudice. The glass blue days are those when every color glows, each shape and shadow shows. Blue be it, this blue heaven, the 7 or 7 times 7-hued sunbeam will transmit, perfect, not alter it. Or if there does sun soft on things aloof, aloft, bloom, breathe, that one breath more earth is the fairer for. Whereas did air not make this bath of blue, and slake his fire, the sun would shake, a blear and blinding ball with blackness bound, and all the thick stars round him roll, flashing like flecks of coal, quartz fret or sparks of salt, in grimy, vasty vault.
So God was God of old, a mother came to mold those limbs like ours, which are what must make our day star much dearer to mankind, whose glory bare would blind, or less would win man's mind. Through her we may see him made sweeter, not made dim, and her hand leaves his light, sifted to suit our sight. Be thou then, O thou dear mother, my atmosphere, my happier world, wherein to wend and meet no sin. Above me, round me lie, fronting my froward eye, with sweet and scarless sky. Stir in my ears, speak there of God's love, O live air of patience, penance, prayer. World mothering air, air wild, wound with me, wound with thee in thee isled, fold home, fast fold thy child.
I'd like to offer a very sincere and special thanks to our speakers and our readers. Literary historians universally recognize that Gerard Manley Hopkins is one of the greatest and most original poets of the English language. Hopkins is not as well known as he deserves, and we hope this evening has done something to rectify matters. But we're very grateful to have the opportunity to have an event devoted specifically to Hopkins, with a special focus on his vision of the natural world as a sign of divine, and also on the theme of the Incarnation. Remember, we're just a few days from Christmas. Our next event, organized in conjunction with Communion and Liberation, which is the highlight of our winter season, it's a special initiative called the New York Encounter. You all have flyers on your seats about it. It's a 3-day cultural event which will take place in Manhattan Center, close to Penn Station, on January 13th to the 15th of 2012. Please look at a number of events. I think there were variety of very interesting and intriguing things to do. Also, in the back, at the Crossroads desk, as you exit, you can register to get information and updates about Crossroads events. Also, in order to defray the expenses of tonight's event, we invite you to consider making a donation by cash or check, which you can place at the box at the exit. Thank you very much.